Yes, so Zach, thank you. My name is Brian, and this is your first order. So, as usual, we usually review them to see how you're doing. And in this case, we're going to review it together so that at least if you have any questions, you're going to reach out to us. So, I've downloaded this paper here, clinical edited, but of course, I can download it again so that we see how it looks. And of course, I'm going to comment on various aspects. First, I really appreciate the fact that you took your time, watched our videos, and followed those recommendations of spacing and using our templates and all that. I see you didn't get any challenges with that. Okay, so normally I will not turn on these markers. So this is how your paper looks. So I'll assume also you forgot to turn on your markers, and this is how your paper looks. Alright, so this I've not checked any instructions, so I'm just going to see how the paper looks, basically how it's formatted and all that. I can say it's formatted well. To go to an extra mile, I'm going to turn on these markers so that I see if everything is placed in the right place. So 4 lines, good. And then the title, and then let me see the title. This should be in title case. Yeah, this is formatted well. And then I will come to the second page. It's repeated. Okay, that's okay. And I will check the spacings. I will check the paper. The paper is okay, but I've seen there's a mistake here, that there's an extra line, so I'll have to delete this line. Again, we have some obvious mistakes, especially these ones that even Word can correct us. So enable me to make adjustments to improve. So I'll just right click this and say enable me to adjust enable me to adjust to improve student outcomes. So those are those obvious mistakes that Word usually identifies. So if Word can identify, Grammarly should even be more than that. So another thing I will check when it comes to the formatting, I will check if you have any double spaces. So I'll press Ctrl F and open my find, and then I'm going to my spacebar and press 2 times, 1, 2. So you don't have any matches. So that means you don't have extra spaces. Another thing I'll check is your consistency in apostrophes. So I'm going to come to the to wipe those 2 spaces, and I'm going to put an apostrophe, and I can see you have 3 results. So I'll come here to next and see here you have a comma shaped one, here you have a comma shaped one, comma shaped one, comma shaped one, comma shaped, comma shaped. So you are consistent with the apostrophes. That is commendable. And that is commendable. And what else now? I'm going to check your word count. This is supposed to be 1 page, so I'm going to check your word count and see how many words these are. So 377, not bad. But ideally it should be, if it's 1 page, it should be a maximum of around 330, because 1 page is 300 words. For this paper, I'm going to give I'm not going to have an issue with that, because in the instructions the reflection is supposed to be around 250 to 500 words. So if it's 377, it is still within. Now notice that when I'm counting the word count, I'm beginning from where the content starts, not the title, and I highlight until where the content ends. Okay, so in this case, the places that are only highlighted is the content, not the titles or the cover page or the reference page. So that's why I can see it's 377 words out of 418 words. So 377 words, this is good, so I have no issue. Anyway, sometimes it will be very difficult to get even maybe those writing 1 page in 330 words. There's no problem. as long as you can write until even 377 words, that one will be okay. But be particularly careful. If there's an instruction in the order that is telling you that not to exceed a certain number of words, please do not exceed. Otherwise, you'll be going against the instructions that were put there in the order. Alright, so this order was a reflection. Just a moment, I'm supposed to pick my phone. So, yeah, we'll continue. I'll just receive that call. So this order, basically it was more of a reflection. I've read the instructions and I see it's more of a reflection, and the reflection should be in first person. Now, reading through this order, I usually convert this into a PDF. So I'll just convert this document into a PDF. So I'll just come here, save as. I can put it in my desktop, and I can convert it into a PDF, save, and then what I usually do, basically I usually come and do this. I change here, and no, I come to view, here view, and I come to read out loud, and I say activate read out loud. Okay, so what it will do, let me just put on here speakers. What it will do, if I click here,
clinical field experience C,
it
lesson
reads,
plan delivery.
it reads for me. So my work is to follow to see if everything I've done is okay. If there's any punctuation mistake, there's what. So this is one way of reviewing work very fast. So you can do this because anytime you select a place, it reads for you, and so your work is just to follow. So I will read sentence by sentence to see if the sentences are making sense. I wouldn't want to have any confusing sentences in this work because the client might request for a revision. As simple as very simple mistakes. So let's go through together.
Clinical field experience C, lesson plan delivery. This week I was tasked with delivering a lesson plan to my entire mentor classroom. It was a huge task I had at hand, but I could complete it, meeting all the prerequisites. It involved pre-assessment and formative assessment questions and learning experiences that the students gained. The lesson was a success, and with the feedback and suggestions, I will adjust for a better outcome.
No mistake, that paragraph.
The students mastered quite well the objectives of the day. Their responses to the questions asked well evidenced this. Most of the students were lively and asked relevant questions about the topic. They were eager to know more and had constructive discussions about the topic, thus helping each understand better. If I could teach the same lesson again, I would ask questions that elicit and analyze how well my students have understood and their thought processes. I would give feedback on their responses to help them learn and practice.
Now, I think we have an issue with this sentence. If I could teach the same lesson again, I would ask questions that elicit and analyze how well my students have understood and their thought processes. Have understood, and so this sentence actually has an issue. So it has to be paraphrased. So in this case, I'm going to paraphrase for you, but going forward, you will have to do the paraphrases alone. So you should submit orders that are good. So if I could teach the same lesson again, I would ask questions that elicit and analyze how well my students have understood the subject. I'll just say the subject, and gain insight and gain more insight of their thought processes. Now that sentence looks complete. There was an issue because that was a faulty parallelism, okay? Because you cannot parallel a word, a verb, and an adverb. You get? Yeah, so that's faulty parallelism. It's not allowed. in academic writing. So we'll proceed. Now to pause, I just press Ctrl Shift C to pause, and to continue I'll just press Ctrl Shift and C. It will continue. Okay. I will give feedback on their responses to help them learn and practice. Okay, that's good. I'll give feedback on the response to help them learn. I'll give feedback on the response to improve on their learning and practice. So basically, I'll give feedback on their responses to improve on their learning and practice. So basically, be very clear with what you're doing. Okay, be very clear. Make sure your sentences are very clear. Okay, so let's go to the next paragraph.
The feedback I received was positive. My mentor complimented me on my audibility and confidence throughout the lesson. This built trust among the students, creating a calm and interactive class. The students answered the questions asked and took well some of the corrections they received.
There's an unclear antecedent here. This. Now, the feedback I received was positive. My mentor complimented me on my audibility and confidence throughout the lesson. This built trust. So what built this trust? That is the question you should ask yourself. You can just say, instead of saying this, because this doesn't really tell us what built the trust, so you can simply come and replace this unclear antecedent here with a word. You see, my mentor complimented me on my ability, so you can say my audibility and confidence throughout the lesson built trust. So I will assume this is what you wanted. Yeah, so I will just copy this and replace this with this, so that I will not have any unclear things here. So my audibility and confidence throughout the lesson built trust among the students and created a calm and interactive class. So, and created a calm and interactive class. The students answered the questions asked and took well some of the corrections they received, and took well and appreciated some of the corrections. So it's all about English, by the way. Just have good English and appreciated some of the suggestions, and appreciated the feedback and appreciated the feedback they received. The feedback they received. So something like that. There is this mistake. Lesson built throughout the lesson. My audibility and confidence throughout the lesson helped build trust. So I can just do that. So I'm actually improving on the paper so that we don't have issues. So Control Shift C.
Key objectives of the lesson were clearly understood. Minimum interruptions throughout the class, and the lesson was short and constructive. Areas that can be improved are maintaining order when responding to questions.
Okay, another faulty parallelism. So the key objectives of the lesson were understood. Minimum interruptions of the class. This clause seems to be very independent, and it's hanging. Yeah, the key objectives of the lessons were clearly understood, and there were minimum interruptions throughout the class. Itabidi tuweke hiyo and hapa. And there was minimum interruptions throughout the class. The lessons were short and constructive. So hapa tuanza new paragraph. The lesson was short and constructive. Okay, so if you have a clause that kidogo na hang, hiyo itashikwa na mtapata shida.
One at a time, for each answer to be heard and understood.
Areas that can be improved are maintaining order and responding to questions one at a time. Now this is also another issue. Areas that could be improved on maintaining order when responding to questions. Areas that can be improved are maintaining order and responding to questions. Students are to respond one at a time for each. Yeah, just go that extra mile, Zach. Yeah, you just need to go that extra mile at least to at least areas that can be improved on maintaining order and responding to questions. Student should respond one at a time for their answers to be heard and understood. Okay, for their responses to be heard and understood. Okay.
Suggestions and advice from the lesson included proper order of questions to facilitate the smooth flow of the lesson. Questions are the flow of ideas from the main topic to the subtopics up to the lesson's conclusion. The students were engaged throughout the lesson asking.
Now, there's another sentence here with issues. Okay. This sentence here, areas that, no, the one that with questions. Questions are the flow of ideas from the main topic to subtopics up to the lesson's conclusion. I think there's something missing. So questions should be structured. I think because if you say questions are the flow, it's like you're telling us this is a definition of a question, but it's not. Questions should be structured with the flow of ideas from the main topic to the subtopics in mind up to the lesson's conclusions, all the way to the lesson's conclusions. All the way to the lesson's conclusions. The students were engaged throughout the lesson, asking questions that the student engaged throughout the lessons and asked questions and asked. It's about the tense here, okay? So be very careful with the tense and ask questions that kept the lesson interactive and exciting. The feedback I gathered and the journal notes recorded will enable me to adjust and improve student outcomes. Okay, so that is that. So conclusion.
In conclusion, based on the students' assessment performance, further discussion among themselves in group quizzes could be done to challenge their collective thinking and cooperation. The students' understanding of the topic and its objectives from the exercise exceeds expectations. The lesson was a great experience. The knowledge I gained will improve my lesson planning, delivery, and approach to student interactions and assessments.
Okay, that is great. So now I will come to this and see the requirements of this paper. And see if really you met everything. So deadline, this I think you met the deadline. I have no issue with that. Amount of work, 1 page. And then these are the things. Part 1, lesson plan delivery. For this field, formative assessment, check understanding, brief summative assessment. There's that part 1 and part 2, but I think you just did part 2, yeah? This part 1 was not really provided, but I think, okay, considering that was just 1 page, And the part 2 was this. So if the student, okay, if the client ataulizia part 1, tamwambia we'll ask them to cover one more page, or we can quantify how much pages for that part 1. But for part 2, I think we've just met the work. So it was a reflection, so it should be in first person. Did the students master the objective of the day? How did you know? You've just answered that they mastered, and they were asking questions. Yeah, now kupatia feedback. What do you do differently if you taught the same lesson again in terms of formative assessment? Ulisema kuwa you'll tell the students wapeane majibu one at a time, isn't it? Mentors feedback, ulisema mentor alikupatia positive feedback. Yeah, na zitasaidia kwa student outcomes. Identify the areas that went well. Okay, from what I've read ni kuwa ulisema kuwa areas that went well ni the fact that students wanaelewa na kuwa wanapeana good feedback, na pia wana appreciate whatever you are telling them in terms of feedback. Areas to improve upon, nimeona umesema kuwa utakuwa unaweka kwa groups, at least wawe na cooperation. It is also part of your suggestion and advice, of course. Alafu students engagement during lessons, you've well covered that. Professional reflection, I think this is well covered. If this was your classroom, what will you do next step based on the lessons today's performance assessment? Reflect on how this experience will affect your future. Hiyo umecover. APA format is not required, but solid academic required is expected. So the general rule of thumb, kama hujapatiwa format ni gani, you will just use APA. So in this case we'll go for APA. Then huyu client anataka sources needed ni 1. So let us look at your source yenye umemwekea, because but that should be the minimum number of sources. Si ati 1 basi kuwe 1. So we look at your source. Good. It's not reference, because it's one you've used reference, not references. That is a commendable work for you now that you are a new writer. Alafu let's look at the source that umeweka hapa. Martin R, assessment of how to effective learning success. Generally blog. Now this source is actually a wrong source, because this is generally a blog. We don't usually cite blogs. I think maybe this time ulikuwa unafanya zile recruitment hukuiona, but we don't cite blogs. What we can put here ni journal articles. We can put a book. Okay, basically those are the only 2 sources zenye nataka muwe mnatumia. Journal article, kama si journal article ni kitabu. Sawa. And the format ziko very easy kuformat hizo nini, hizo journal articles na vitabu. So I don't see why you will run into challenges there. So basically hii source, wacha tuangalie. Okay, umeweka blog, but do you have this source in text? So nitakuja tu ni highlight Martin hapa na niangalie kama uko na in text citation. So it's only one result, so meaning nayo result iko hapa kwa reference, meaning you don't have an in-text citation. So you have an issue with sources, okay, and in-text citation. So you need to improve on that, but for this order I will show you. Now hii kitu yenye umeka hapa, it's a source, you can't put it. Reflection, basically reflection huwezi kuwa na sources mingi, okay, because ni kitu yenye it's more of your experience, yeah. So I understand maybe you didn't get a good source, but kuna some sentences umeweka hapa, I'm sure tunaweza include sources. Kumbuka si kila mahali kwenye unaweza weka sources, by the way. So I will just look at this paper and see which is the right place to put a source. You cannot cite a source, you cannot put a citation mahali kwenye wewe umefikiria, unasikia, or something that you've experienced it firsthand. So you can only cite something that a clause or a statement that you've gotten from somewhere else, isn't it? So ile citation basically ni kusema kwa okay, hii kitu ni ya huyu jamaa, so credits to him, thank to him that alitupatia this information. So I will try and see if kuna anywhere kwenye tunaweza weka citation. This week meeting all involved, the lesson was a success and the feedback I'll just start better outcomes, blah blah blah. The student mastered quite well the objectives, the responses. They were eager to know if I could teach them lesson again. I would. The feedback I received was positive. My mentor complimented me. This built trust. Maybe hapa tungepata report ya mentor, maybe we could maybe have cited that report for the mentor, but in this case we can't. This builds trust among the students, creating a calm interact the students. The key objective of the lessons are clearly understood. So the questions, areas that can be improved, suggestion and advice, questions at the flow. Hii tuli correct, huh? So let me see. But I think that is one place yenye tunaweza weka citations, huh? So questions should be structured with the flow of ideas from the main topic to this, with the flow of ideas in mind. Okay, with the flow of ideas from the main topic to the subtopics in mind, all the way to the lesson's conclusions. So hapa ndo naona tunaweza weka citation hapa. So what I will do, I will just do this. Questions should be structured. Na niende tu Google niangalie kama kuna anyone mwenye alikama up na hiyo kitu. Then I will put him as maybe my source. Topics, main ideas, Questa College. Topic, main idea and supporting details, major, minor. Hebu tuone huyo. 6 steps to create a mind. No, naongelea nini hao? Hebu tuone huyo kama topic, main ideas. I don't know why my internet is so slow today. Oh, it's Sunday, so people wana nini. Identify topic, main ideas and support. So I think I'll just go to Google Scholar and get a source that talks about topics. Let me just go to Google Scholar. Alafu ile kitu tutaangalia ni we'll just search key terms. Okay? Key terms. I think ni topic, subtopic. Na tutaweka hapa kwa article. Sawa. So topic, subtopic. Na mother what am I typing here? Topic, subtopic. Alafu questions, understanding, students. I think hizo ndo key terms zenye tunaweza kuwa nazo. Let's see if we'll get any. Inferring what the student knows to one-on-one tutoring, the role of student questions and answers. Looks a good one, but sasa hii ni ya 1994, ni ya mababu za mababu zetu. We can't use that source, but of course it looks a little bit very close to us. So we will add another nini, because they are supposed to be around not less than 5 years. Tuko 2023, tuki minus 5, sources zetu zinafaa zianze 2018 na? Lakini usually within that 5 years, 2018 we don't include, so 2019. So since 2019, so we'll just come here and click since 2019. Another student's concept understanding in solving scientific literacy topics, monumental impulse. TPS, another student's difficulties about work and energy. Students' difficulties about work and energy. Improving students' understanding and collaboration in topic blood circulation hapana. With assessment of learning, investigation and improvement of students' understanding of kinematic concepts. Development of Android based. I think tunaweza enda na jamaa. Then acha tuangalie related articles. Okay, tunaweza acha tu site tuone kama source ni gani. It's a journal article, which I think it's something we can appreciate. So tunajua ni APA, so we can take Judy that 2020 JITT with assessment. Lakini be very careful with sources za Google Scholar, ziko extremely wrong. okay, ziko extremely long. So me what I usually do, Google Scholar huwa tu inanipatia source tu tuseme, because hata haijanipatia DOI na hiyo DOI inatakikana. So what I usually do ni kuwa ati I can just take JITT assessment concepts, nichukue tu title na ni copy na niende kwa sasa Scrib, nione kama hiyo source Scrib inapatikana. By the you really don't have to have very nini, but please whatever source you use at least iwe iko inakaribiana na kile kitu yenye umeweka. I know we are cooking here, but at least ile kitu yenye utaweka ifanane hata na hiyo kitu yenye ulikuwa unaongelelea, because if you talk about blood circulation here, you'll even be attracting you'll even be attracting the teacher to do more information na kwambia wewe nitumie hiyo source ulitumia, tuone ulitoa wapi. By the in some cases you'll be asked to get that source. So if you're not a good person, utajipata pabaya. I don't know what is this. And hapa kwa APA zangu and I will search an article hapa, kinematics concept. JTT with assessment, I think ni hii actually. Yeah, this is our source. One source imeongezwa hapo. So hii hata unaona imekuja mpaka na DOI, alafu angalia kila kitu imefomatiwa vizuri. Hizi ziko in italics nini. So I'll just copy it to clipboard na nitaenda kuiweka hapa huku mwisho. Asa badala hii Martin, hii nitaweka hapa, isn't it? Alafu I'll just come here and put enter, at least pia hiyo ikue active, ikue blue color. Alafu I'll just delete that. Alafu in-text citation nitatoa tu hapa kwa Scrib. By this Scrib is a very nice one. It's only that sahi iko complicated, lakini nitawafundisha venye mtatumia. Alafu hii uzuri pia nakupea mpaka in-text citation yenye ni mzuri. So you'll just take that, or you can take this hivyo, because hapa I think the best way ni kutumia narrative citation, so that tuweze kuweka hawa nini, so that tuweze kuiweka in this way. Iko hapo part ya questions. Questions should be structured with the flow of ideas from the main topic subtopic in mind. So I can just put a narrative ni hapa, nitasema hapa according to alafu niweke huyo Jafriadi and Andreasi 2022, alafu niweke comma. Questions should be structured with the flow of ideas from the main topic to the subtopic in mind. Okay, ama naweza according to Jafriadi and Andreasi 2020, to improve on student outcomes, to improve on student learning outcomes. Kwapi, where is the case? On student learning outcomes, questions should be structured with a flow of ideas from the main topic to subtopic in mind. You've already added a source, Jeffrey 2020. So yeah, nataka one source, sita struggle sana. I'm not here to do charity, so hiyo nitatoa. But mi sisemi hivyo by the way kwa ubaya. If you want to get 5 stars in these papers, add more sources. It adds authority to your work. Okay? It adds authority to your work. So sahi nikija tu nikichukua hii if you just highlight this na niweke control F, inanipatia minimum of 2 results. So inamaanisha kuna hii imekuwa kwa references na kuna hii imekuwa kwa in-text. So yeah, and then sasa the last thing I will do before I submit this paper ni kufungua Write-All Academics zinaitwaje hizo templates, submission templates, no, illustrated is illustrated templates, na ni compare. I can just open any 7th edition and I compare kama hii journal yangu imefuata exactly venye hizo nini journals zinafaa zikuwe. So journal, I'll just go straight to the example. Bandovi PPP, full stop, alafu the year, full stop. So it is the author's name, full stop, alafu the year, full stop, JTT, the assessment, investigations, and hapa ni what is the case. Hapo ni sentence case, a framework ya sentence case, alafu ingine full stop, alafu in italics na title case, alafu italics inaenda mpaka kwa number 37, alafu hiyo ingine inakaa tu straight. So New Physics Journal. So hii kuna vitu haina hii source. If I can look well, this source lacks some information kama hizi issue number, sijui what, hiyo haina. So I can simply just take this DOI na niende tu Google nione kama naweza pata that additional information, because me realize haina those information. Haitupatii volume, haitupatii any issue number, haitupatii anything. Like hiyo source iko tu. So I will see kama kuna any volume number, issue number, ndo niweze ku-update. So ndio hii actually. Volume number 4, issue number 2. Tunaona volume 4, issue 2. Hizi hazikukuwa. Hata ni ya August 2020. So those are the things that we should check. Alafu what else? I think ni pages. The next thing yenye hatukuona ni pages. Kutuambia pages. Kutupatia pages. But at least wametupatia volume na issue. So this is volume 4 na issue 2. So that means I will have to update my source. Let me check. I will have to update my source. Of course, naweza update tu hapa kwa Scribd. I'll just come here and edit. So volume 4. No, volume 4. Issue number ni 2. Alafu pages ndo sikupata. So I'll update source. So always make sure tusingekuwa tumeangalia kuwa maybe venye hii kitu inakaa, we could have taken this paper the way it is, na of course tungepata shida, tungekuwa tumepata makosa, tungekuwa tumechukua paper yenye iko na some elements that are missing, because journal article lazima iwe na hizo numbers. So nitacopy alafu nitakuja nitaipaste tena hapa, then we will compare again. I'll remain with only what is yenye nakaa. So I will check again my illustrated templates, page number hakuna, but I also don't seem to get that page number. So in this case, unfortunately, I won't bother, but the best source I'll go with ni ya pili, and hii ya kwanza nita delete. So there's much into getting these things. So hiyo nita delete. So that is a completely formatted DPA paper. Imekuwa polished. So ikitoka hapa sasa inapelekwa mahali inaitwa Grammarly. So nitaisave na jina tofauti, alafu nipeleke Grammarly. So nitaandika hapa checking. Alafu I will just come here and open Grammarly. Hata ukisubmit paper yenye na shine vipi, it will have to go through Grammarly first. Hata pia mimi lazima nipitishe. And nikiona kwa Grammarly zako ni mingi na kurudishia karatasi. So make sure that you are doing Grammarly very well, na make sure kama una submit kazi umeangalia hii part imeandikwa business. Okay, don't upload a paper here kama haijaandikwa business. Alafu another thing, always delete, usiache kazi hapa Grammarly, always delete. Sorry kama delete kazi ya mtu na maybe alikuwa anaangalia, apologies, just upload afresh. Yeah, there's no hurry in Africa. Na ukidelete unafaa delete mpaka huko kwa trash, but tutadelete huko kwa trash baadaye. So I'll just come hapa kwa desktop na ndio hii imeandikwa checking. We are polishing this paper ifike standards zenye natakikana. So number 1, haina any confusing statements, haina unclear antecedents. Wacha sa Grammarly itufanyie final polishing, alafu tuone venye karatasi inakaa. We need things that sparkle. Wale wenye wako na swimming pool wanajua kuwa kuna certain chemical inaitwa sparkleite na pool magic. Those are the things that tunataka ku-urge sahi. More insight into yes. Aya, among students clearly understood and at a time improve. Okay, I'll accept all of them. Nishangalia kama kuna kitu taki you'll just delete so but for now I think zote ziko sawa. So and then it looks good, I'll just say looks good. Alafu to improve on there, so it's improved there. Alafu nitakuja you should respond one at a time to be heard and understood. Correct. According to Jeff, to improve on students' ask no, questions should be structured with a flow of ideas from main topic to subtopic in mind to improve student learning outcomes. Okay. You wouldn't want to argue with Grammarly, because hizi kazi hata kuzisubmit na wakipitisha Grammarly waone nini wanakurudishia kazi. Any petty mistake yenye Grammarly itaona hiyo kazi itaenda. So I'll look my performance, correctness looking good, clarity, engagement very engaging, delivery. Kama we ni mtu extra, you can even check plagiarism, isn't it? Okay, but you're 100% original. But of course hii paper bado haijamalizika, so ukitoka hapa tutaipeleka sasa kwa Copyscape, at least iangaliwe kama kuna kitu imekopiwa mahali, kama hii kazi ilisubmitiwa mahali na mtu anajifanya yeye ni mjanja, so we will catch him as well, isn't it? So kitambo kazi umeona imesubmitiwa na imepitia process, inaitwa process. So I'll just copy this. Copyscape ukitaka unaweza nunua, it's free. It's not free, you pay in dollars. So nitaipitisha Copyscape, alafu nitaipitisha Turnitin for AI, na nipitishe the normal Turnitin, alafu nipitishe kwa Cephasine, alafu ndo nikiona hizo zote zimepass, now I will not have any issues with you. So nitasubmit, tungoje client sasa kama ni complain. But kufikia hapo, beyond that, hiyo si field yenu. So I will not record that thing actually. Hapo sasa nipatie ma reviewers and all that. So this video can end here actually. Sawa, so Copyscape. Tuende kwa Write-All Academics. So I'll just come here and I will paste this. Tuone. No results. So good. Nena inakata $. Ukiwatch, ukiangalia tu plagiarism inakukata. Ukiangalia tu plagiarism inakukata. So of course I can take it now to Turnitin. Write-All Academics. I don't know why my net is so slow. I think because leo ni weekend, people wako kwa manyumba zao, so ndio maana. So the demand or the traffic is too high, so that congestion. So kila kitu ni Write-All Academics, Write-All. So you guys do just be doing good work na hamtapata shida, but mkitaka kusumbuana sawa, but hiyo itawasumbua nyinyi wenyewe. You'll just work with people who can cooperate. The internet is really slow. It's even slower than the way I'm thinking. Hapa ni kama nishatoa report nini kila kitu. But anyway, so I think acha to end the video hapa, isikuwe so long. And you take my feedback positively. Alafu kama bado utapata challenges, please reach out to me. So thank you and have a nice time. Bye.